What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we have Odin's movie blog. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fine. Tired from work, but I'm doing okay.
Well, I'm happy to have you on. It couldn't have been better timing because you've been quite busy on Twitter.
Yes, absolutely.
With some people involved with Star Wars,
Yeah.
and so. I'm trying to get everything pulled up here, switch everything around. Every time you live stream, you have to get all your tabs and everything in order. But yeah, so I think this is going to be a very interesting show. Obviously, before we get into the John Kasdan stuff, we have to talk about the news of the day. And the news of the day is the Clone Wars is saved. The Clone Wars is back. And I don't know if I mean, we talked a little bit about it pre-show, and then obviously I like every time we start talking about something, it's like, wait, let's save it for the show. So do you watch the Clone Wars? Do you have any interest in the Clone Wars or anything like that?
So I discovered the Clone Wars from this channel because I'd always been a huge fan of the films, and I'd always been a huge fan of just the huge universe that was set up by George Lucas. And so I wanted to discover more. I discovered this channel. I discovered just there was so much more to it. Even my channel will talk every day about these characters in the extended universe who I know nothing about. But I saw that, you talked about Clone Wars, about it being on Netflix, and I decided to check it out. So I'm like 10 episodes into the first season of it, and I'm loving it so far. Right and on. It's fantastic. So the fact that this news is coming out today is just awesome. I mean, 'cause I know how much you love it. I know how much so many people love it in general. And so I'm really excited because I think that, and we were talking about this earlier, I really do think that this is a sign, just kind of like what we're seeing with John Kasdan, that things might be changing with Lucasfilm, actually starting to maybe listen to the fans. It'd be really nice,
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously everyone saw my live reaction, and it was, man, I'm still kind of trying to process everything. I mean, I love the Clone Wars. We're going to be doing, I'm going to do a show about the Clone Wars tonight. We're going to pre-record it with my webmaster, Nick, who's really knows a lot about the Clone Wars mythology, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. And so, but we'll have a lot of coverage on the Clone Wars, and no doubt about it, guys. But let's move into what we want to talk about today. So, Odin's movie blog here on the Geeks and Gamers channel. A lot of you are subscribed to his channel. If you're not, please go over and subscribe. He's a great channel. How long have you been doing the YouTube thing here now?
3 months.
3 months. So you just started.
Literally, yeah, pretty much just started. And I said this to you in the private message on Twitter and everything, but I mean, you're pretty much like the thing that pushed me over the edge to actually start doing things on YouTube because I just loved your common sense material. I just thought that it was something that I knew I wanted, and I saw that a lot of people wanted it too. And I thought, hey, maybe I can, try this out because I have a lot of thoughts on this too. And I did. And so, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy 3 months.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you mentioned to me in the early stages, and then I didn't realize you had just started your channel at that point. But I figured, because a lot of people look at this channel and go, oh yeah, this channel just blew up and started. No, we've been here for 5 years, and nobody gave a damn about anything I had to say for 4.5 of them, or something like that. Maybe it's been 4 years, three and a half, whatever it was. But yeah, but it's really cool. I take that seriously. That that we helped inspire you, and that means a lot. And I appreciated all of your messages, a few months ago talking about that. And so it's really cool. So yesterday you made a video. A very sarcastic video, which I appreciated because I appreciate sarcasm. Yeah, I appreciate some sarcasm. You made a video talking about the release of the Solo Blu-ray and how sarcastically excited you were, and all of the.
Well, I mean, dude, they have a snowball fight scene. I want to see that snowball fight scene of Solo. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, who doesn't at this point?
And it got some traction, and the man John Kasdan, I say that sarcastically, but the writer of Solo, a Star Wars story, who made the point known that he wasn't worried about bringing identity politics into the movie, and this was prior to the release of the movie. He actually responded to you,
yeah, and
then I responded to him, and then a lot of people were like, "Hey, basically, what did I say? I said something to the point of nobody's offended by your comments on L3. We basically just we didn't like it, so we spoke with our wallets, and you SJWs never learned. And so a lot of people thought like I was being a little too hard on him. Maybe he was being professional, like we've asked Ryan Johnson and Pablo Hidalgo and a lot of the creative team from Lucasfilm to be. I still feel like he was being sarcastic, What are your thoughts on this whole interaction and how it went down?
Well, as I said before, to me, when it happened, I thought to myself, I never thought in a million years that a Hollywood screenwriter would ever like actually reach out to have a conversation with me. So that alone, I was like, Jonathan Kasdan, the writer of Solo, is actually talking to me. And when I saw his comments, I just was like, he's being nice too. This is very awkward. I'm not used to this because I'm very used to on Twitter, especially. And I know that you're used to it too on Twitter and in the comments of YouTube videos of just people trying to attack and just being very disgusting and nasty and just really not looking to engage in dialogue, just looking to troll. And so I just didn't know how to take it at first, but I ended up having this back and forth. And at first it was just yesterday and he ended the conversation, but then he kept responding to other people. And so I jumped back in. And so it turned into like a 2-day back and forth with me and John Kasdan. And it actually ended pretty well for the most part. But part of me really wants him to be genuine. I really do hope that he's coming from a genuine place. I do have my doubts because, as you pointed out, he's definitely being sarcastic in a lot of the things that he says, not just with me, but also he's shown that sarcasm in previous comments before, especially about the fandom and about, saying, oh, I'm sorry that I did this. Nope, never mind. So he has a history of that. And I was kind of waiting for that moment, but it never happened. So I'm really hoping that he was being genuine, though, because we ended up having a pretty good back and forth. And it was interesting, to say the least.
Speaking of how he responded with nope, I tried 3 different ways to include the Borat scene where they're talking about the not jokes in my video, and I kept getting hit with copyright. And I tried so many times I even tried to speed up the audio. I tried to put a moving background. I tried everything. I wanted to include that when I was talking about his nope tweet. Where the Borat scene and a not joke. This dude is not black. Oh, so funny, but couldn't do it. But maybe at a later date.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I feel like that there might be a tide turning a little bit with Lucasfilm. I feel like maybe they finally realized, like, hey, we can't talk to the people that we expect them to give us their money, but we can't treat them like shit if we're expecting to do that. And I feel like Solo was a big wake up call. Possibly. I'm still not sold on that by any means. But you look at that, you look at the interaction. I guess Pablo Hidalgo's kind of changed his tune a little bit. But for everybody that's changed their tune, there's another person that is, smacking the fans around. We saw Ashley Eckstein kind of do a lot of virtue signaling. Let me get to some super chats real quick.
Absolutely.
Laser Pants Toy Junk says Clone Wars over Mario Kart with a Q. So now Mario Kart. So now fucking Mario Kart has a Q. You guys are evolving your trolling abilities on me right now. Now we're at a Q. Like, I can't even take you guys seriously anymore. The hunky chunky funky monkey, hail all father.
What is up, hunky chunky?
And Lethal Lighting, thank you for the super chat. Jedi Knight and friend of Captain Solo, Clone Wars with a K coming back is my early birthday present. Go Jirify, I think that's how it's said. I learned that on the High Council when Jeff said it. Go Jirify. Is the Ahsoka we saw in Clone Wars saved the time traveling Ahsoka from the last few episodes of Rebels? She has come back to Clone Wars time. I honestly don't know how they're playing all of that, but no, that can't be. That can't be the Ahsoka that's came back from World in Between Worlds. No, I don't think so. I have to think about that though. Cecil says, "Hey Jeremy and Odin, everyone sub to Odin's movie blog."
Oh, thanks, Cecil.
Cecil is in the house, everyone.
As I always love to say in my live stream, Cecil is life. Cecil is Bay. The Force is Cecil.
I might add Cecil to this discussion a little bit later.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
If we can break 500 viewers, I will bring Cecil into discussion.
Make it happen.
So, but that'll be a little bit later on. If Cecil's interested, so Cecil, shoot me a PM and let me know if you're interested, and then we can make that happen. All right, those two bald guys, 2 of my favorite YouTubers, very cool. Hey Jeremy, hey ya Odin. As G&G inspired Odin, you both inspired us. Keep the great vids coming. P.S. Mario Kart with a C. Damn you! Hey, at least he's not using the Q, because now we're doing
new
stuff. So, and Voorhees67, John replied to me too. It could be sarcasm, but it's much better than the likes of Ryan Johnson and Pablo Hidalgo. You both are awesome. Hashtag Oreo Kart or Oreo Quart. Oreo Quart. Have we gotten to this point yet? Hashtag Oreo Quart. You guys are intentionally fucking with me now. AM Fitness invite Odin's movie blog on the High Council to discuss Soy Low box office. Definitely on the short list. I can tell you that. Definitely on the short list.
That'd be fun.
And Laser Pants Toy Junk, Cecil over Mario KKK cart. Jesus, this is now. It's just now.
Oh, that's getting a little.
Now we're just we're in the depths of Lucasfilm hell now.
See, now some troll on Twitter is going to find that clip and just.
Oh yeah, it's over now. It's over. It's over. Lethal Lighting says, Odin, mate, good to see you, dude. Another successful Legends conversation.
What is up, Lethal? Lethal has been like my go-to guy when it comes to recommendations. I just started the Thrawn trilogy, and I'm 3 chapters in, and it's amazing. I mean, oh, there's so many great things. Like, and as soon as I started listening, because I'm sucking at reading because I have ADD and my mind's all over the place. So I have to listen to the audiobooks. And the guy who does the voice, I think his first name is Mark something, maybe Mark Thompson or something. He gets every voice correct. And as I'm listening to just chapter 2, and they're talking about, Luke and Leia and all these other things, I was like, why didn't they make this movie? Like, why didn't they make this trilogy? Like, this would have been amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I need to get more knowledge on Legends myself. Yeah. It's just I don't read a lot. Like I don't have the patience to read books. Audiobooks is what works for me. So the few Legends books that I've listened or read, or the few EU books I've listened to on audiobooks.
Have you tried the first Thrawn book on audiobook?
I have not.
I recommend listen to a sample, because this guy, as I'm listening to it, literally the guy does perfect impersonations of like Han, Luke, all the characters, and it's awesome. So I'd recommend it highly.
Okay. Yeah, you're not the first either. So Mike Sexton, who would win in a nunchuck battle? Me versus Chuck Norris versus Odin versus Jeremy versus Chaz from Wedding Crashers. Chaz from Wedding Crashers, hands down.
Most likely, yes.
He's a legend, dude. He's a legend. Club Star Wars. Let's see. Regular John Kasdan. I thought he was being genuine, to be honest, but I think we need to see more interactions to be sure going forward. See you on Xbox, CSW, folks. And Club Star Wars and I are discussing potentially having him and me kind of partner up with his Club Star Wars Xbox community. I think he's got like 80,000 members. Oh, wow. So, potentially going to be working on that, and we're going to be having more discussions. The Grand Inquisitor, button the like smash. Button the like smash. We are at 400 viewers. Odin is bringing the heat today. We have no dislikes. So for the first time, we have a guest that even the hate of me, it's overridden by the love for Odin.
Yes.
So, button the like smash. Guys, I really think we should do like I really hope that our community kind of creates like a Geeks and Gamers subreddit for my live streams, like they do for PewDiePie, and all of the nonsense that we talk about in the live chat, like we can create a subreddit there, and I can once a week read all of the craziness using OBS and stuff like that. I would totally be down with that. Because
I can tell you right now, because as someone who, like, my channel is still very small, which I kind of love, because when I do my live chats, we get like maybe 20 people in there tops, and I read every single comment. So that's kind of like what I do, is I read every comment, and man, the conversations that happen in those chats are just crazy. I can only imagine what it's like for this one.
and right on cue, getting bombarded with the dislikes now.
Of course, yeah.
Let's see. Thantris says, hey, can't stay long, just here to drop off my 5 money contribution. Keep it up, dude. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's really nice. The Restricted Gamer, best line from the reaction stream. This isn't clickbait, Sean. Voorhees 67, no dislikes. Boo, we must dislike this. All right, so let's get back onto the conversation.
All right, absolutely.
And much love to you, Voorhees 67.
Yeah, he's been on my stream too. He's great.
Yeah, and we have a lot of the same people within the community, and it's really cool to have this community and so much support, and that's what's important to me. I see channels like yourself, and it's hard for me to really comprehend that I'm a quote unquote big channel at this point. I still don't consider myself a big channel, but I mean, I feel that there's like people like you perceive me in a different light than maybe the people that I perceived previous of, like, YouTubers I looked up to and stuff. And I really still haven't kind of come to grips with that. And it feels kind of weird. And all I'm trying to do is, the little bit of reach that we have, I want to try to help anybody who's trying to do really cool stuff on YouTube, try to give them a bigger platform. You know what I mean? and I see a lot of the passion that you've had, and hopefully, you know, we can continue getting those subs up for you. What are you at now?
Just reached. So today, because you talked about the Twitter war with John Kasdan earlier today, I went up to, like, I think I'm over 1,500 now. So
nice.
Yeah.
And my goal was to at least bump you up another 500 with this.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but yeah, so I mean, what exactly? So is this something you're going to continue to do and continue to pursue with YouTube? Is it something you've planned out? I know you just started this 3 months ago, but is this something you want to continue doing in the future?
I definitely think so. And before I get into that, I just want to say, I think that you, and that's what I love about this channel, especially, is that you're such a humble person, because you honestly, you know, you never try and take any credit. You always try and put it in, you know, put it on others. And I just think that you just have such an immense amount of outreach, because just look at what happened with, you know, Ivan Ortega and Jesse Milestone. Like, those channels just blew up. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with the fact that you were just so, like, I mean, you've just been an amazing person. I just want to say that first off. And
I'm an asshole, so let's just clear that shit up right now. I am an asshole, and
with a heart of gold. Ass with a heart of gold. But yeah, absolutely. I really do want to continue it. I honestly, when I first started out, I thought to myself, you know, maybe I'll get to 100, 200 people, you know, 200 people watching or something to that effect. It'd be really cool if I could get more. And then all of a sudden, just the traction, especially over the last month, it's just been insane. Like, once I hit 1,000, like, it's just been so much faster. And so because of that, I mean, as long as people want to hear what I have to say, I'm going to keep on doing it. And it sounds like people are liking what I have to say. And so I'm going to keep on doing that. And yeah, it's been so much fun. Like, and that's the reason, as I tell this to all my people on my live stream, is that I do this because it's fun. If I wasn't having fun, I would not be doing this, because I would just be wasting my time. And I'm having so much fun. Like, every live stream, I do almost every single night, I do a live stream, which is just insane for me. Because then I look at the time and I've been doing this for 2.5 hours. I've been doing this for 3 hours, and it just doesn't feel like it. But it's because I'm just having so much fun. It's just, so I'm going to keep on doing it. As long as I'm having fun, and as long as people keep on coming, absolutely.
Love hearing that. Now, as far as Star Wars goes, because that's what everybody wants to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah.
And let me get to a couple super chats real quick. Obi127883. No more excuses, Jeremy. You have comics that is essentially cliff notes for the Thrawn trilogy and audiobooks. Make it happen, and you will be begging for Mario Quart messing with you over what comes. Now, see, Laser Pants Toy Junk, you see what you've started. You see, I'm having to deal with all of these Nick G comments that you guys keep throwing at me. Did you see that one the other day where there's a name? It's a Nick with the starts with the letter G, and as the last name, they're like, "Hey, shout out my boy Nick," and it sounds like a certain word, and I said it live. And now they won't stop trolling me with this shit. And even PewDiePie got busted with it right after he had his whole controversy, you know, about a year ago. And I fell right for it. And so now I have to pre-screen every comment I read now. So let's see. Andy, shout out to Odin. He's the man. Jeremy, good too. So
thanks. Yeah, Andy's another person I talk to on Twitter a lot. He's awesome. He gave me a lot of material that I used for a video. I think it was my video yesterday, maybe. And he's an awesome guy.
Right on. All right. So Jeffrey Toon, you're a celebrity. Odin, stay humble.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Comrade Commodore, I can't read either, bro. The audiobook is free on YouTube. Get on it. What up, Odin?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's really, and I like all the people, like, I basically am a guy where I also take a lot of recommendations. So I've got sticky notes for days of recommendations that my chat gives me. And a lot of them gave me recommendations of audiobooks and said, hey, it's free. You can find it on YouTube. And it's, yeah, I mean, they're amazing.
Yep, definitely. And the last one, and then we're going to get into some more Star Wars discussion. Laser Pants Toy Junk, you're welcome, you nappy-headed fuck. Love it. Okay, so how has your Star Wars fandom, and I asked this of Rebel Force Radio, I try to ask everyone this, but so how did you feel with the Disney purchase of Lucasfilm? How did you feel TFA? How did you feel Rogue One? And then how did The Last Jedi affect all of that? Where are you at with all that?
So when Disney first bought Lucasfilm, I was really excited because I saw what Disney was able to do with the Marvel properties. And I thought to myself, if they can do that with Star Wars, we could have some really cool things. And that's why I got really frustrated when everyone was just talking about Star Wars fatigue and just all that nonsense, because I look over at Marvel and I say 20 films in 10 years and every single film is still making money. In fact, their most recent film was well over $2 billion. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So I was very excited because I thought they were going to do the same thing with Marvel to Star Wars. And then The Force Awakens comes out. And I'm really excited because The Force Awakens, yeah, did it have problems? Sure, obviously, because every film has problems. You had the problem with, Rey being a Mary Sue and everything. But there was still enough potential for the next film to be able to right those wrongs, to be able to move in a new direction, to be able to, pick things up. And also, of course, everyone criticizes it for being essentially A New Hope rehashed. And I thought that was a good criticism too. But I'm glad that it was A New Hope rehashed because they went with something safe. They went with something to make sure everyone knew we're going to do Star Wars right. We're going to do things the way that Star Wars should be done. And then hopefully, I was hoping at that point, okay, next episode, that's when they're going to start to take risks. That's when they're going to start to do some interesting things. And then, of course, we have The Last Jedi, which just subverted everyone's expectations and just really destroyed everything. And the biggest criticism I have of The Last Jedi is the fact that The Force Awakens just lobbed up so many balls for Rian Johnson to hit out of the park. And what did he do? He decided, instead of going to hit the balls, he just decided to run out of the damn park. Like, he just started to run away from everything. And what did we get? We got a film that makes no sense in the grand scheme of things.
It's when garbage.
I know, and also too, what it revealed to me was that Kathleen Kennedy really has no idea what she's doing. And obviously, I think, are there certain things that Kathleen Kennedy might be good at? Sure, but she's not a forward-thinking executive. Someone who was like a Kevin Feige, who knows that he has to plan things out in advance, would have said, okay, we're going to do this with this film. We're going to bring this person in here. We're going to keep things, going forward. And what happened with Last Jedi? They hit a brick wall. And so I think not only did it tell us a lot about Rian Johnson, but also told us a lot about Kathleen Kennedy because she greenlit that project and allowed it to go forward. And what it showed us is that she has no interest in the future of Star Wars because anyone could have looked at that script and say, you know what? I appreciate what you're doing. You're an artist. I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but this isn't Star Wars. This isn't going to help us in the long run. So let's make some changes. But she didn't do that. So I think that she kind of showed her hand there.
Yeah, and that's absolutely accurate. I still can't figure out how you don't have a plan. How do you have this damn story group, which I don't have any faith in the story group, but how do you even have a story group? And what the hell did they do?
I know.
What do they do besides get on Twitter and virtue signal? What do they do exactly? I don't really know what the story group does because they certainly weren't involved with the creative process.
Not at all.
The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi. They just weren't. And it blows my mind. And again, no one was more excited. No one was more optimistic than myself when Disney made the purchase. You look at what they did with Marvel. You look at Pixar. You look at all just their independent Disney properties, the Walt Disney Studio properties, the Disney Animation Studios, all just great. They're not perfect. I mean, I'd say Pixar's probably the best of all of it. I mean, Marvel's great, but up until Infinity War, I was getting kind of bored with a lot of Marvel properties.
I can understand that. Yeah.
And Pixar's just put out, I know Pixar's not what Pixar used to be, but Pixar's put out some all-time great films, all-timers, and
even some recently have been great. I mean, I went in just for a recent example, Coco. I went in with extremely low expectations for Coco because I thought, oh, they're going to try and do some things. They're going to try and make some commentary on modern American politics, and it didn't. And I was just so pleasantly surprised. Like, Coco was amazing, and it was probably one of my favorite films of that year because it was just it was a family film. It was a film that made me cry, and there's not many films that can do that these days. And the fact that it made me cry, it shows you they know what they're doing with Pixar. They know what they're doing with Marvel. Why in the hell can't they figure out how to do Star Wars? They have so much source material in the extended universe. They have plenty of people who are interested in these projects, and yet, again, it all goes back to Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one at the top. She's the one that's greenlighted decisions. She's the one that is the reason why Solo lost $200 million because she greenlit all of the decisions that led up to that point. So it really has to start there. They have to start by putting someone in charge, not just who loves Star Wars, but someone who actually can be a forward-thinking executive, someone who can actually plan things out. That's what I've been trying to say for a very long time, is that if you don't have that, if you don't have a plan, then you're not going to go anywhere, and Star Wars has continued to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's a very good point. All right, so let me jump in here. Alexis Evans says, are they really going back to finish the Clone Wars? It is really happening, Alexis.
It's true.
It is really happening. It's amazing. I didn't believe it when I first saw it. I had to do more research. I did a reaction here on the channel. and it was pretty damn awesome. I'm still gonna record me and our webmaster for geeksandgamers.com, Nick, are going to be recording an episode that will be uploaded tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll be recording that tonight after this live stream. So looking forward to talking more about it. Let's see. GRP poll says, correction, Ant-Man and the Wasp is not doing well. It's so I mean, I know it had a good opening weekend. I haven't looked at the box office numbers. I think it had like a 64% drop second weekend. I haven't looked at it beyond that. Have you looked any of the numbers up?
I haven't looked at it either, but at the end of the day, this film is getting close to $300 million. So is that a huge box office success? No, but it's making profit at this point. Like, it's just the fact that they only spent probably $150 million or so. It's starting to make profit. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, is it as successful as... See, and I think that a lot of people think of success, obviously, as being, $2 billion of Avengers Infinity War, but everyone knew that this would be kind of the cool-off film. This would be the film that kind of was a placeholder until the next Avengers film. And I feel like it did that very well because it was, more comedic. It was more lighthearted, which I think a lot of people needed after the, very, very down ending of Avengers Infinity War. And I think that it did exactly what it needed to do. And I think that it's probably going to tap out probably $400 million, which people say, oh, but that's the same number that, Solo's making, but they spent significantly less money on Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that's why it won't be a financial loss for them.
Yeah, I mean, the first Ant-Man did about $500 million, and I talked about this on the High Council the other night. But I mean, it's not really somebody like Ant-Man's not something you expect to do big numbers. If it does $500 million, that's fine, and it's already around the 300 million range. I don't know if it's going to quite get to 500 million, but it's also facing insane competition right now. Where the first one, I don't believe, did. They probably should have released it later in the year, not right here in July, but even then, still doing really good. So
yeah, I mean, and just to clarify, I have Box Office Mojo up right now. So between weekends, it was a 61.6% drop. So definitely a huge drop. But what we've seen in previous films is there have been other films that have had big drops, but have still done well financially. And so I think Ant-Man's going to do fine. It's not going to lose money, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see. And I guess there's some markets it still hasn't opened up in with the World Cup and everything going on.
That's true. That is very true.
So we'll see what happens. All right. So let me find out where we're at here. Matthew McDade says, do you think that Disney will use Legacy? As far as what? I don't know exactly what he's asking me.
I mean, at this point, if they're reviving Clone Wars, and if people like John Kasdan are starting to show that they can be anything but an ass, then it's possible.
It's my Legends.
Is that possible? I assume that's what he means.
Okay, so I mean, Dave Filoni has already pulled from Legends multiple times. Yeah. So if Dave Filoni, which he will be, he's going to be involved with Clone Wars. He's going to be the creative head of it. So yes, he's definitely shown that he will pull characters from Legends and honor them. So I think that's almost a given at this point. We're definitely going to get him. I mean, again, you got to put it in perspective. This is 12 episodes. 12 episodes to finish the Clone Wars. So it's not going to be an ongoing series. So we have to keep that in perspective. But I think Filoni would, if there's a Legends character that they could pull from, Filoni would definitely make that happen. But again, just keep it in perspective. That's the main thing.
And also, just one more thing about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Big thing. Their foreign market, their foreign numbers are higher than their domestic totals, which is something that Solo did not do.
Yep, exactly. All right. Boo Arc Trooper Knox, or he hit our ball, he hit our balls all right.
I was expecting someone to make a comment about that.
Darth Platypus, they couldn't hit a brick wall. They ran out of fuel before they even got close to the brick wall. Just ask Ruin Johnson. Yeah, and I seriously believe that. I still don't believe Rian Johnson's trilogy is happening. I really don't. I don't believe it's happening. I think Rian Johnson knows it. And so that's my thoughts on it. And it's just going to be interesting to watch it continue to play out. So
they would be stupid. They would be stupid at this point to give him a trilogy. And I've said this before, that if they're going to give him anything, it's going to be straight to their streaming service. But even then, I don't think that that's going to happen. I really don't. He's done. He has to be.
Jeffrey Toon says, which McFarlane-verse cartoon series do you think will handle spoofing of Disney wars? I don't really watch a lot of the McFarlane cartoons. I would. Is Robot Chicken still a thing? I would have to assume that might be one of them. But I never really watched a lot of those. What's in, like Family Guy?
He's Family Guy, and what's the other one? Family Guy was the main one that he did though. So he might do something on. Is Family? I guess Family Guy is still going on. That's the thing. I liked Family Guy a long time ago, and then it kind of went off into the woods for a bit, and so I kind of fell away from it. But I think it's still going on. So if it's going to happen anywhere, it would make most sense to be, because also too they've done Star Wars and Family Guy before, so they could make a commentary on that.
Let's see. Matthew McDade says, "Will you and Jesse Milestone and the council be in soon?" Let's see. Will you and Jesse Milestone and the council be in soon? I'm assuming you mean on soon. I think we definitely will have Odin on at some point. Jesse, yes, she's been on twice, I think, and
two or three times. Sure.
Yeah, so it's a rotating thing for that fourth person, but yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people we're talking to right now, and there's a lot of people that want to be on. So we're just trying to give everybody an opportunity. Gojirify said, is Filoni doing the Clone Wars return? I would assume so. I still haven't looked into all of the details, but he did tweet about it. You have to. It's almost a given, though. He's involved with it, and he would have to be involved in it from a creative standpoint, be writing it, producing it, and overseeing it. I think that's a given. So, all right. Nickel Noodles sends $1. Thank you so much. Jason Wells, wait. What? They're going back to the Clone Wars with a K. Said it with a K. You bastards. Matthew McDade, I meant for the movie. Okay. So, for the movie. I don't know what I'm still confused, Matthew. I'm sorry. Will you and Jesse Milestone and the council be in soon? I meant the movie. I'm not completely sure what you're asking. And I apologize. Let's see. Hi, Recluse Grimaldus. I think I said that right. All due respect, guys, I'm terrified about bringing the Clone Wars back with assholes like Chuck Wendig and Pablo Hidalgo on staff. Fair point. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for having that opinion. And I see that I'd say the reaction is almost overwhelmingly positive that the Clone Wars is returning, but there's definitely a lot of people out there that are saying, hey guys, this is Disney. Don't forget, we were excited for The Last Jedi. We were excited for the Force Awakens, blah, blah, blah. So I get it. I totally understand that, but I don't see Dave Filoni. Like, this is a Dave Filoni project. This is got Filoni's fingerprints all over it. Yeah. He's not going to allow Ahsoka to be brought back without him being involved. So I trust Filoni. I trust Filoni. So what do you think, Odin?
Yeah. I'm about to say, I just checked an article from The Verge, and he's the one that actually announced it. So I assume that he would be the one that would be in charge of the project. It wouldn't make any sense for him not to be. But also it mentions saying, and I think that this is the catch, is that it's going to debut on the Disney streaming service. So that is going to be interesting, seeing that you have to get the service in order to see the Clone Wars. And of course, are there other means of, watching these things? Sure. But as far as watching it live, you're going to have to get the streaming service. So I think that's interesting, to say the least.
I see you. I've seen you sent us a few times, Alexandre L. So I'm gonna read it. Jeremy, I fundamentally disagree with you. With all of you wokies, The Force Awakens was not a good movie and did not leave me excited. And a film like The Last Jedi was to be expected next. Well, again, I don't tell anybody what their opinion was. Like, I can't argue a personal opinion. I never have. I never will, because I like bad movies. I I dislike good movies. I do it all the time. I tried, and this is how I approach looking at movies. How did it perform? How did it perform with the masses? And my only point about The Force Awakens is, if we're going to reference The Last Jedi Rotten Tomatoes score, then we have to reference The Force Awakens Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm a data guy. Facts don't care about your feelings. I like Ben Shapiro. The Force Awakens did $2 billion. That is a fact. The Force Awakens had a 39% drop in week 2. That is a fact. That is an insane hold. The Force Awakens is the 4th best-selling Blu-ray of all time, more than The Avengers, more than The Dark Knight. Toy sales in 2015 it was the number 1 brand, Star Wars, the number 1 brand in toys. In 2016, the Star Wars brand, number 1 again, and it increased over 2015. IMDb score, 8 out of 10 for The Force Awakens. There's all the analytical data tells you that people were happy. I went to Star Wars Celebration last year. Everybody was happy. Nobody was fussing about The Force Awakens. It's a different time now with The Last Jedi. If you as an individual didn't like The Force Awakens, I completely respect that. I can't argue that, and I never will argue that. That's never been my point. My point is the data says The Force Awakens was a positively received film. Retroactively, The Last Jedi has destroyed it for a lot of people, and I understand that, and I'm one of them. I don't know about you, Odin.
Same way.
So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's funny that we're called wokies. That's an interesting title.
I actually made that one up the other day on my.
So I guess I am officially a Wookiee because I'm someone who did like The Force Awakens when it originally came out. But as you just said, it's totally true. As I was saying just earlier, everything that's set up in The Force Awakens gets destroyed by The Last Jedi. Therefore, in retrospect, when you watch both together, The Force Awakens doesn't mean anything. Everything, all the stakes that were raised in The Force Awakens, all the questions were just completely ignored, and some of them just so subverted, as the word they love to use so much, that it just didn't make any sense. So, and I feel really bad for J.J. Abrams at this point because he has to pick up this mess and somehow tell a story. And I say this a lot too with The Last Jedi. What do we have to look forward to? What thing has The Last Jedi set up that we have to look forward to that is going to be exciting to? There's no questions that we need to get answered. There's nothing to look forward to. And so I just feel like J.J. Abrams is like, well, crap. What the hell do I do with this franchise now? And when you look at all three together, it's just going to be a giant mess because you can have so much promise, all the promise destroyed. Oh God, what the hell do I do now? Like, it's just.
Well, and Brad Noble just said it. TLJ made TFA pointless.
Yep.
100%. Let me catch up because a lot of super chats coming in.
Sorry, Brad Noble, I will say, is my pet troll, and I love Brad Noble.
No, it's all good. Escape World Show, thank you for the super chat. Alexis Evans, watch the trailer for the Clone Wars released to see the audience reaction. By the way, you both rock. Yes, I actually played the audience reaction on my live stream, and it gave me chills, man. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Martel, you are always blowing up the super chat. I've spoke with you on Twitter a few times, told you how much I appreciate your support. You're amazing. And thank you so much. The Clone Wars is back. Long live Ahsoka. Yes. And thank you so much for the support. Those two bald guys. Question for both Jeremy and Odin. What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie? Mine is the 1980 Flash Gordon with the Amazing Queen soundtrack. You got a favorite guilty pleasure movie?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, see, it's a tough question because what is a guilty pleasure? I mean, if you're talking about bad movies, I think actually, have you ever seen The Room yet?
I have not.
Oh my goodness, you need to watch it. So I guess if I had to choose my favorite bad movie that I could watch over and over again, it's The Room. I mean, it's so great, so fantastic. Oh, hi everybody, how you doing? It's just so great, and I recommend that you see it. So I guess if it's bad movies, that would be it. I also really like chick flicks. It's one of the weird parts of my personality. So I really like things like 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner that came out so many years. I saw that 3 times in theaters as a teenager, and I don't know why. So I tend to like those movies too. I tend to like the chick flicks a lot. And yeah, so I guess Serendipity would be another one. That's one I go to every Christmas with Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack. So I guess those would be my guilty pleasure. What about you?
I mean, yeah, it's a term that, you know, at this point, it's so open-ended as to what can be a guilty pleasure, but I try to go off how people respond to a movie I say I like or don't like per se. So I would have to definitely go with like I like a lot of Adam Sandler movies, and I know Adam Sandler's not a very popular person in the internet sphere. But at least
not anymore. At least not anymore.
Yeah, I love Just Go With It with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. I love Just Go With It. Yes, love that movie.
I skipped that one.
Yeah, I love 50 First Dates. I can't mention like Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison because those are classic. Everybody loves those. And you know, but my go-to movie, and I won't say this is necessarily a guilty pleasure, but this is my go-to movie, and that's Clerks 2. It's always going to be my go-to movie. So if I had a bad day, if feeling down, I just watch Clerks 2, and it makes me feel better. I love
every time they do the scene where they break down Lord of the Rings, I just crack up laughing.
Yes. John Robertson says Jeremy only goes to rom-coms with EVS. All right,
y'all should do that, by the way, because that would be amazing.
All right, Jeffrey Toon. At the end of Family Guy, Star Wars spoofs, They said the Cleveland show would handle the prequels, and I was joking. Oh, I have seen the Cleveland show a little bit. I actually enjoy the Cleveland show. And so, but only a little bit, but I don't watch a lot of those. Like the last cartoon, like I don't watch South Park that much, but I love watching clips of South Park. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. The last real cartoon I really watched, like a comedy cartoon, was Beavis and Butthead, and I still love it.
Yeah.
Still love it.
I recommend getting into the most recent season because to me they're just so smart. South Park, the Rise of South Park, they're just so smart, and everything they've done. I mean, they did a Broadway musical that won the Tony for Best Musical in Book of Mormon, which is hilarious. If you've never listened to the soundtrack, I highly recommend it. I think you would like it a lot. Even if you never saw the show, I think you would like the soundtrack because it's the same people that did South Park, did the South Park movie. I mean, there's just so many great things. And of course, they did Team America. I mean, Matt Damon.
Dicks, pussies, and assholes. Such a great movie. Such a great movie. I love it so much.
You can trust a man when he puts you mouth around it.
So good, man. It's so good. Star Wars philosophy. I just got the news about the Clone Wars. I'm so happy but scared they will dial the tone from the original and SJW it up. Can we trust them? No, we can't. As excited as I am, and I said this in my live stream, we have to still hold them accountable. We have to let them know we're excited. We're very excited, but we're not going to accept garbage from you. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to, we're going to be watching because we don't want to have this nonsense put into it. And I don't think we can fully trust them. I don't, but I am excited. That doesn't change my excitement. But yeah, we can't trust them. They have. After what's happened with The Last Jedi and the reaction to The Last Jedi, we can't trust him. But Dave Filoni's involved, and that is the saving grace, in my opinion. So,
is that enough for you? I'm sure someone's gonna ask this question. Are you going to buy the Disney streaming service to watch it?
Yeah, I will. I mean, I do. I'm sure I'd have to see everything that goes on, but yeah, I mean, I've almost moved completely to streaming services anyway. Yeah. The only reason I still have DirecTV is because of sports. Something we don't talk about in the live streams.
Yeah, for some reason people hate talking about sports.
But that's the only reason I still have DirecTV. Outside of that, I don't watch television. I only watch streaming services. So yeah, I plan on getting the Disney streaming service. I like this. Hopefully they're gonna have a lot of old classic Disney films and things like that on it. So I like Disney. So
if they can make it enticing enough, especially if they put the whole library, you know how they do all the, this movie is only gonna be available for a limited time. If they just put all of those classic Disney films on there, it might actually be worth getting.
Yeah. So all right, let's see. Matthew McDade, I was meaning the Disney use of legacy in the movie, like Mara Jade and Jaina Solo. Yeah, that's what we figured. Yeah. And so so would they use Mara Jade or Jaina Solo in movies? I honestly don't know. I guess people are saying that, and I know the source. I know Mike Zero. I know everybody has an opinion on Mike Zero. He released a video earlier saying that JJ might be rewriting episode 9. Which that's crazy. I would have to look more into that. I personally don't think we're going to see Mara Jade or Jaina Solo in any of the live action movies. Just because I don't even know if they know who they are. I don't think JJ, like I remember at Comic-Con before The Force Awakens release, they were asking JJ and Kasdan about Darth Plagueis, and it seemed like neither one of them knew who Plagueis was. And Plagueis is canon, bro. Yeah. And so, but wow.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And let's see. Martel So, Odin, love the beard. Greetings from Norway.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Martel's awesome, man. Always so supportive. And, I just I hope that they appreciate how much we do appreciate them. So, let's see. Alexis Evans, do you know when these Clone Wars episodes will air? Have you looked to see that, Odin?
I guess
I know you had something pulled up earlier. I just didn't know if
I still have it pulled up. So it's going to be when the streaming service goes live, which I believe is in 2019. So sometime next year.
Okay. All right. And Micah Mathis, Odin, where's your eye patch?
I'm surprised no one's asked where my Wookiee onesie is yet, because when I hit 1,000, I did an entire live stream. We did 3.5 hours. I was in a Wookiee onesie, and it was fun. It was hot. It was so hot, but it was a lot of fun.
High Recluse Grimalda says, people also trusted JJ. I recall in JJ we trust. I admit TFA was a success. Disney burned me with TFA. Much respect for you, man, but they have a lot to prove to me before I can get back on board. And that is exactly what I mean by the market determining the market. The market determines the market. I firmly believe that. I feel like a collection of individuals come together, and that forms the market. And if enough people are frustrated with what's happened with the Disney Star Wars, speak with your wallets. That was me doing my small little part with Solo when it came out. I refused to go see it. I could have seen it for free. I could have went and paid for another movie. There's a number of ways I could have went and saw the movie. The point was I wanted to use my individual voice to make a stand, and I let everyone else make their mind up in terms of how they wanted to do it. And luckily, there seemed to be a lot of people that had the same idea as myself, and enough people didn't go see it, and it woke Disney up. I think it did. So what are your thoughts on that, Odin?
Well, I mean, I think you're ignoring the fact that, no movies do well in May, especially Star Wars movies. They don't do well in May. And you're ignoring so many other factors. I mean, there were so many movies that came out at the same time. And Jeremy, I just think you're ignoring all of these, really big things that are going on here that kept the people from seeing the Solo. But no, in all seriousness, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, as I said this before, $200 million is nothing to ignore. No stockholder especially. And I know that I did a video on someone who was a Disney stockholder over at the Motley Fool. The Motley Fool did an article, and so they have stock in Disney, and the person writing it was a stockholder in Disney. And it was the first time I'd seen an article just using common sense and explaining this is why it failed, this is why Star Wars is in trouble. And the fact that it was coming from a stockholder tells me that there's probably a lot of other people who own stock in Disney who are also very worried, especially since after that and the Roseanne, it was so amazing. It was like this perfect storm. Solo's numbers were doing terrible. The whole Roseanne thing happened, and then their stock dropped like 2-3%. And I think that they're going to look at that and say, no, we're not going to simply ignore that. Changes need to be made. And I really do think they're going to hopefully money talks. At least it used to. So let's hope that they don't bury their heads in the sand and just try and drag their heels with this. And they say, okay, we tried something, it didn't work. The market, as you said, does determine, the films that we get, and hopefully that means that we get better films going forward. And hopefully, too, this Clone Wars announcement is the first sign of that actually happening.
Yeah, I hope so too. All we can do is think positively at this point.
Yes, very true.
Let's see. Jason Wells, favorite guilty pleasure movie, Mega Force. Trust me, Jeremy, your audience cares. Jason, I have no way of ever telling if you're serious or not about anything you say because you're always trying to troll me. Always trying to troll me. He spent I don't know how much money he spent last night on Super Chats just trying to mess with myself and Anna during the live stream for the Rebel Force Radio. It was great. It was great.
The 1982 film with a 3.5 on IMDb. So that's about as guilty pleasure as you can get.
Yep. All right, let's see. Trying to find. All right, so we had a $10 super chat that was restricted. I don't know who sent it, so I apologize that I can't see that. Ron Navy, Jeremy's has to be Star Wars Holiday Special. I've never finished the Holiday Special. I can't get through it.
You haven't? Oh man,
no.
You're missing some.
I every time it gets to the virtual reality porn. Yes. I'm tapping out, man. I'm tapping out. So we are going to be rewatching. We are going to be watching a live stream watch of that on Ethan's channel next week, I think.
That's awesome.
So probably like next Friday. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to have to watch it for the first time.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
you're going to love every second of it too because it's just.
Oh man, not looking forward to it. Jeffrey Toon, Odin, Matt Damon.
Yes. They try every stream I've done. Someone puts it in at some point, says I read every comment. So Matt Damon.
Morris says, sup G&G and Odin's movie blog. Question for you both. If you were in charge of Star Wars in 2012, what would you have done for a sequel trilogy? I would have, and I don't have any specifics on this. I mean, I try not to attach myself to things I want to see in movies because I feel it sets you up for disappointment sometimes. That's happened to me on a few occasions. But ultimately, I wanted to see Luke Skywalker be the Grand Master Jedi that we all expected him to be. I wanted to see Han, Luke, and Leia together. There's no doubt about that. That was very disappointing to me in The Force Awakens that we didn't get that. At the time, I respected it because I trusted the creative process. But I definitely would have taken a more of a Cobra Kai approach, where you focus on the characters that built the universe. You focus on the characters that the people, your audience is interested in. You focus on them first, and you tell us what's been going on with them, and you establish their relationships. I definitely would have had Han and Leia together. I didn't like that Han and Leia were not together. And so establish those characters first. Give Luke Skywalker a goddamn lightsaber and make him whoop some ass. But I wanted Luke Skywalker to, every time Luke Skywalker was in the presence of anybody, it was like a god on earth. That's how I wanted him to be perceived. I wanted people to go like, oh my God, that's Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted people to have this reverence for him, this legendary mythical being. And they kind of touched on that a little bit in The Force Awakens a couple of times, but it kind of got thrown away. You know what I mean? And I would have loved to have seen that aspect of it. But, you know, what do you think?
No, I agree. And I really do think, especially, I feel like my mind's kind of been, I don't want to say corrupted, but basically focused on, you know, everything I've been reading in Thrawn. I think they could have done that direction because they could have easily tried to pick it up. They could have adapted it, of course, instead of being 5 years, they could have made it, you know, they could have done so many things with it. But in all honesty, I really do think that most fans wanted to see the big three on screen one more time, at least, and for them to all be together. And of course, as you just said, for Luke to be a Jedi Master, because if you were to ask anyone after seeing Return of the Jedi, if they were going to make a sequel, if they were going to continue the story, what would you want to see? I guarantee you that most people would have said, oh, I want to see Luke Skywalker. I want to see him as a Jedi Master. I want to see him, you know, whooping some ass. And unfortunately, we didn't get that at all, because even the big fight scene that he's in, he's a hologram and he doesn't do anything. So we literally didn't get the one thing that most people wanted to see in a sequel trilogy or in a sequel story at all. And I think that's really sad. And we're never going to see it now. And unfortunately, unless they somehow do some retcon with 9, which I think is just a fantasy, unfortunately, at this point. I really want them to, because I think, to me, that's the only way that you can save episode 8. Because if you know going in that episode 8 doesn't matter, or episode 8 is getting, you know, retcon in 9, I think that it changes the dynamic of the story and, you know, kind of forgives some of the elements in a little way, at least.
And real quick, since we're almost at our peak viewership for this live stream, I'm going to share some good news with all of you. We're almost at 600 viewers. I'm going to share some good news with all of you. I'll be happy to announce, and we're in the preliminary discussions of it, but Odin's movie blog, he's going to be appearing on the Geeks and Gamers channel in the very near future on a consistent basis. So we still haven't worked the details out. He didn't even know I was going to announce this live.
That's crazy.
So
thank you.
I'm gonna have Odin come on a weekly basis and, you know, talk about a lot of you know, box office numbers and things like that. Literally talked about this right before we went live, and he was like, yeah, man, yeah. And he had no idea I was announcing this, but that's how we roll here, man.
Thank you.
So
thank you very much.
I've seen everybody earlier saying that they're gonna meme my my reaction to the Clone Wars trailer. Because I was all like getting all worked up. So bring it on. Bring it on. That's what you get with the Geeks and Gamers channel. Raw emotion. You never know. Like, nothing's planned. I don't plan this stuff out. I told Odin when we started talking, I was like, look, man, we're just going to go live and talk and we'll figure it out. So all right,
it brings so much more understanding to why you love to use the Bill O'Reilly F it, we'll do it live.
F it, we'll do it live.
I mean, that's pretty much what you do. I mean, and that's what I do too, because to me, and I say this all the time, especially when I read articles, I don't want myself to have a planned out script about what I'm going to say. I want people to see my honest reactions to things, because to me, it's more genuine, it's more honest. And instead of just planning things out in advance, I'd much rather them see, oh, he's actually really pissed off about what's just being said. And so that's the reason why I do that too. So,
yep. All right, I'm way behind, so let me try to get caught up here. Martel. So, and I saw people saying he's a billionaire, is what they were saying earlier. Where will Clone Wars with a C air? Do we have to buy the Disney streaming service? Probably. We'll just buy it on DVD. Yes, it will be on the Disney streaming service. I know that's going to not make a lot of people happy, but that's where it's going to be. That's been announced. ARC Trooper Knox with Clone Wars announcement. It's double the joy. I'm excited for the show and happy that I'm excited for Star Wars again. Cautiously optimistic. Well, and that's kind of where I think a lot of people are right now. Yeah. So you're speaking to a lot of people. Damn it, Martel So still sending more big super chats. All right, and I'm not complaining, Martel. Just letting you know I love you, brother. Love you. Let me see. Jeffrey Toon, Odin plus Chewie onesie plus on a live stream history. It's up there with the moon landing.
I don't know if I go that far, but thank you.
Lethal landing. Cannon can stay away from, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Wafu? It's some kind of like meme thing. Waifu. I've never known how to pronounce that. Jaina Solo.
I'd say waifu, maybe.
Okay, but a lot of people use that, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. I've never said it in my life. That's the first time. So, let's see. Adonis Hannah. What if they got George Lucas back on board? I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I think George is done. I think George wants nothing to do with it. I think George is it wife? Oh, is that how you say it, Hunter Boaz? Okay, my bad.
A wife. Okay.
Wife you. Okay. Either way, I didn't know how it was pronounced. But no, George is never coming back. He's never coming back. And he shouldn't. Man's what, 70 years old at this point? So he's not coming back. He doesn't want to deal with all this noise, and I don't blame him. What do you think, Odin?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think that once he sold it, he probably for a second thought, okay, maybe at some point in the future, I'll be brought in to, consult on something. And now I think he's probably seen what's going on. He says, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy all my merchandising money and just let them, drive off a cliff. So, who knows? Maybe if they get things back on track, maybe down the line, there might be some big event that they bring him in as a producer, maybe. But it's very unlikely, I would say.
Yeah, he's done. I would love it, but he's done. He's not coming back. Let's see. Gunnar says, I started watching Clone Wars via the public library here in Norway based on Jeremy's recommendation. Wow. So good so far. If you're loving the early seasons of the Clone Wars, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you get to 3, 4, and 5. Wait till you start getting into some of these deeper story arcs. Wait till you start seeing the emotion. Wait till you start seeing the animation get better and better as it goes along. Wait till you start seeing the character developments. Odin, you should be listening to me too, because
I can't wait. I cannot wait, because again, I'm only like 10 episodes in right now, and I'm already excited for it. And also too, because you love Ahsoka so much, I'm forgiving kind of like the annoying characteristics that she has right now, because it's like, okay, I know she's going to become a badass pretty soon. And so I'm willing to forget, but I already love her character. 10 episodes in, and that thought has already pretty much left my mind. So
yeah, Ahsoka really doesn't, it takes Ahsoka a little while. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Ahsoka in the early stages, and rightfully so. I mean, she wasn't a great character in the early stages, but yeah, just wait. Wait. So good. All right. Jason Wells says, I'm the best kind of troll. One pays to troll. And he said kind with a C.
Of course. Yeah. At least it's not a Q. And
these fuckers wonder why I can't say anything they type, because they intentionally type things wrong just to trip me up. This is what they do. This is the kind of community we have, where they just want to see me like I can't even talk. I know I have a lot of white privilege, but my white privilege doesn't allow me to read misspelled words. Okay. Yeah. So
we're just a couple of guys in our mom's basements. That's what we are. That's all we are.
Let me find out where I'm at here. OG Crusader says TFA was a Jedi mind trick that was finally undone by TLJ. It was blinded with nostalgia, ignored the rules, and Han and Luke would never run away. That is a very fair assessment. Mm-hmm. Very fair. And I can't really argue with that. I totally respect where you're coming from with that, and I can't really debate you on that. So that's a fair point. So I'll read it one more time so everybody can hear it loud and proud, because I don't really again, if people make good points, they make good points. The Force Awakens was a JJ Jedi mind trick that was finally undone by The Last Jedi. It blinded with nostalgia, ignored rules, and Han and Luke would never run away. I want to know, how does the chat feel about that? Do you agree with that? What's up, Anna? Do you agree with that? Does everybody like that one? I think that's spot on.
Yeah, spot on. I would agree, and I think that that's absolutely true. And I think the reason why we still hold on to that, we liked it then, was because even though that is the case, if they had done something amazing with Episode 8, we would have forgiven that. But because we got what we got with The Last Jedi, it now just makes those things even stand out even more so. And so that's why I think that's absolutely spot on, because no film is perfect. And I think that's an excellent assessment of some of the major issues with it, for sure.
Yeah, and we have universal agreement in the comments.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though, OG Crusader. Very good point. Morris said $2 super chat agreed. That's probably on the earlier super chat. I was talking to them, and they said they agreed. Nickel Noodles. Odin is a boss. His dog crapped on the floor live on his stream last night, and his account went up. Jeremy, awesome Clone Wars reaction earlier. That's a good super chat. So talk to us about that one. Let's hear about that one.
This was last night. So this is actually last night. So Nickel Noodle, who was brand new to the chat, and he was just rocking it. And then all of a sudden I smell something and I look around, and one of my dogs, I have 2 dogs, and one of them crapped in the floor. And so it's funny because three or 4 live streams before, my dogs were in the room. And so they were joking around saying, because I thought that I had smelled poo as well. And it was luckily just one of them farted. And one of them said, "Oh, this would be so funny if Odin had to, pick up dog poo. It'd be the first time I think I'd ever see that in a live stream." And sure enough, poops last night. And for about 5 minutes, I'm taking care of it. And when I left, I had 3 more viewers.
Nice.
And it was just like a blank screen for a lot of that 5 minutes. And Brad Noble, who I always shout out, who's my troll, he was like, show it to us. It's like, no, I'm not going to show you dog crap on camera. But yeah, it was a mess.
That's awesome. And guys, Odin lives about what, 3 hours away from me?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm in New Orleans, so
yeah, he's in New Orleans. I definitely am trying to schedule some time to go over to New Orleans. How would you guys like it if we live streamed from the Geeks and Gamers channel, walking around the French Quarter and all that good stuff? What do you guys think about that? Live streaming. Did they have like any old school gaming shops there that we could check out?
So I don't know about gaming shops, but I do know there's a bar called Barcadia. And now I don't drink. I know you don't drink, but there are tons of old arcade games in there that you can play. So
right on. So it looks like a lot of people are definitely. I've already thrown you guys out there that I want to try and hang out with Ivan at Walt Disney World and live stream there. And then
as long as you bring Lauren, please bring Lauren to Disney.
Yeah, I heard that. And Anna says she wants to come join us in New Orleans now.
Yes.
So I think again, it really just comes down to the more support you guys give us, the definitely. 3 hours from Florida to Louisiana. I'm in the panhandle of Florida. So I'm in the panhandle. So I'm nearly in Alabama. Okay, let me see if we can try to get caught up some more here. Jeffrey Toon, you made it, man. You made it. I don't know I think he's talking, maybe he's talking about you, maybe he's talking about me. Yeah. I think I made it. I'm the one that's on with Odin, so I'm the one that's made it. Okay? Well, I've made it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let's see. Obi-Wan 27883, they need to retcon episode 7 and 8, all of it. I don't disagree. I don't. I'll make my point clear tomorrow after we watch the TFA. How about that? Martel, so for everyone that state that Luke died a virgin, Jedi was allowed to have sexy time, or smexy time is what he says, just not to marry. Attachment was forbidden, not the deed. That's how they got the list of Force-sensitive children in the first place. Martel So dropping some knowledge for all of the people that want to say Luke died a virgin. More awesome metal. If TFA did so well, it's because there hadn't been a Star Wars movie in 10 years, and everyone was so excited and want to see it. I know many of us folks liked it, but I can tell you in Europe, not many liked it. Yeah, and that's true. But my point is why is it the 4th best-selling Blu-ray ever? I mean, people don't go out. Why is it the best-selling Blu-ray in the first week in the history of Blu-ray sales? It's not, I mean, people really loved this movie. The numbers supported. That's all I'm saying. That's all I've ever said. I know retroactively a lot of people really don't like it now, and I'm one of them. Yeah. I'm definitely one of them. But again, when you outsell the Avengers on Blu-ray and the Dark Knight, and I think I would have to pull the list up. I know the best-selling Blu-ray of all time is Frozen. I think one of the Despicable Me's is up there, and I can't remember what the other one is. And then Force Awakens is 4th, and the Force Awakens is only been like all the other movies ahead of it have been on the list like 3 or 4 or 5 years longer than the Force Awakens. Let's see. Because Star Wars was new. Again, why didn't the Phantom Menace do $2 billion? Why didn't the Phantom Menace one of the best-selling DVDs, Blu-rays ever? I know Blu-ray because it was a DVD or a VHS or whatever. Like the Phantom Menace dropped off because the word of mouth wasn't good.
Yeah, and this is where me and you will disagree with each other. Is I hated the prequels. I thought they were awful. I know
cancel the live stream. Cancel the live stream. Cancel Odin being on the channel. This is new information. I did not know this information. New information. I'm kidding, obviously.
But no, like, I mean, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. I mean, I just.
So now, do you not like Revenge of the Sith?
I think out of all of them, Revenge of the Sith is like miles ahead of both the first and second one. I will agree there. And it's not like, basically when I put my list of Star Wars films, 1 and 2 are at the bottom of my list. 3 is definitely not. It's not the third from the last. It's definitely like maybe 6th or 7th, seventh from last. It's one of my favorites. But there are still so many. I mean, there's the no, like there's so many things that
I love Revenge of the Sith.
We can do an entire conversation about points being made about, the prequels.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing. I won't defend Attack of the Clones or The Phantom Menace. I won't. I find enough redeeming qualities in both. Attack of the Clones, outside of Anakin's performance, Hayden Christensen's performance, I think it's got a lot of potential. But he's the main character in the movie.
Okay,
and he's so bad. Like he's amazingly bad in Episode 2.
See, for me, Attack of the Clones is the worst one because the dialogue is the worst out of all the films, I think, personally.
Well, I do have Attack of the Clones as my least favorite. It's definitely my least favorite. What I'm saying, though, is if you put it's hard to say. I think that a lot of times we put the blame on Hayden and because he's the actor, and I've done it many a times. But I think a lot of the blame has to go to George from the fact that he's not an actor's director. Hey, just go ahead and say it. And so if you gave Hayden Christensen, who is a proven actor, if you gave him a director that would actually work with him and give him a little better dialogue, I think that performance could have been much better.
The dialogue is absolutely what killed both of those films. I mean, all three of them, the dialogue was the weakest part for sure. But yeah, I mean, and again, we can criticize him all day long, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to, was the writing good and how was the direction? And if you don't have that, then a green actor is not going to have a chance of doing well. Like there's just no potential that he's going to be able to act upon, because if he doesn't have material to work with, it's basically like you're saying, here's a gun without any bullets, shoot a target.
Yeah, I mean, even Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman wasn't that good in those movies.
Who's now an Oscar-winning actress. She's an Oscar-winning actress, and yet she was garbage in those films because no direction, no writing.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, where am I at? Boom, boom, boom. All right, Laura, Ryan stole my fan fiction story. This isn't clickbait. It's your better not be porn. Because earlier people were like, is this clickbait? Is this clickbait? And I'm like, this is not clickbait. And then I clicked on it. And I'm like, I did use Ethan's line of, is this better not be porn?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that line so much.
Key Strix says the live DC Titans trailer is out, ready for another series to get ruined by the creators who don't care about property, characters, portrayal, and old fans. I haven't even seen. I have to check that out. I'm not even familiar with that. The DC Titans trailer. I haven't even seen anything about that. So. Does it look bad? Does it look like crap? Hopefully it's not like the Thundercats, which was god-awful. So Bill Stevens, enjoying my day off and get to participate in a live chat. Love Odin and Jeremy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Really appreciate that. Laura Story says, bold prediction, JJ rewriting 9 includes Ahsoka. Laura, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, okay? Don't do this to me, Laura. Don't get my hopes up like this, because partially that excites me and partially that terrifies me.
Yeah.
I don't want Ahsoka, I don't know if I want her involved in anything that Dave Filoni is not writing and directing. That's my concern. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm a little worried. So, all right. Jeffrey Toon, in the UK, it's the first live poo since an elephant crapped all over the floor on a BBC Kids program in the 60s. Is there video footage of this, Jeffrey Toon? I need to see this. I need to see this right now. More awesome metal. Do you think the Clone Wars coming will be the new season 7, or will they finish 6? 8 unfinished episodes you can see in the Lost Missions DVD. Do you think they should remake the 2003 Clone Wars miniseries? See, I still need to see the 2003 Clone Wars miniseries, so I haven't seen that one yet. I'm wondering if they're gonna do the Siege of Mandalore, with this So I still want to. I don't want to tie myself into what it's going to be. I'm happy that it's happening, but obviously there's speculation on how they're going to tie this together and how they're going to. Dave Filoni isn't. This is a Filoni project. It's going to be done right. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. Let's see, Synaptic Flow. I always struggle with that one. New Clone Wars doesn't change anything. Stay mad. Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't change anything in terms of overall. I'm excited about the individual announcement of the Clone Wars, no doubt. But yeah, I said this in my live stream. We can't lose sight of everything else that's going on. We can't just, oh, okay, it's cool what you did with Luke, drinking titty milk from the dinosaur. It's okay that Leia was Leia Pop. No, we can't lose sight of that, and we're not. So it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Jason Wells, Jeremy, I know you love G.I. Joe. I highly recommend Joe Fest 2019 in Augusta, Georgia. Noted, Jason Wells. Noted. I would love to go to a Joe convention. Voorhees 67, Death Sticks equal best scene in the entire saga. The Grand Inquisitor, Jeremy, go to Publix and get a carton of their peanut butter ice cream. You're from the South. I know you've had plenty of peanut butter pie. It's awesome. Anytime the Grand Inquisitor offers you that type of advice, you have to take it seriously. So, but that does sound good. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about a few things. I just want to put you on the spot here, not in a bad way. These are things you're going to be easily answered, but I just want to give our audience a little more insight into you and how what your taste in movies are. So if you can, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man. So I always love that question because there's really three films that, depending on my mood, really they shift between themselves. I think the one that I always tend to go to is Casablanca. It's just, to me, it's a near perfect film. The ending of the film too is just, it's one of the rare cases where the guy doesn't get the girl and you're okay with it, and it's done right, it's done well, and you care more about the friendship that forms between the two characters. And so I love that film. 12 Angry Men, the original 12 Angry Men, is just, I mean, it's screenwriting at its best. I mean, obviously we know that it's based off a play, but the screenwriting for it is just insanely well done. So many films have been inspired by that, and the way that the shots that they do, the long takes that they do, it just really set up a lot for cinema going forward. And then my third film on that list would be It's a Wonderful Life. So if I had to choose between those, probably Casablanca would be the one I'd constantly go back to. It's also what led to So I Am Married, and so the song that me and my wife danced to at our wedding was As Time Goes By. So there's obviously also a special connection there as well. And it was the first movie that me and my wife watched together when we were dating. So it has a lot of special meaning to me as well. And so yeah, Casablanca would probably be the first one.
Okay. Favorite director, and if it's not Christopher Nolan, why isn't it Christopher Nolan?
Well, I will say that it's not Christopher Nolan, and the reason
fired, done, cancel it again. We're done. Go ahead.
Oh, just wait. It's because I thought Dunkirk was not very good.
What? Okay, now
I've seen it once. So here's the thing. I've only seen it one time, and the three different stories that were weaving in together didn't work for me. It was a little too confusing. Now, I will say this. I will probably, if I see it a second time, I will probably love it. And the reason why is this. When I saw Interstellar, I hated it the first time because I was on board 3/4 of the movie, and then he ejects out of the ship, and I immediately was like, what? How is he alive? This doesn't work. And then once I had that already in my mind, when I saw it again, I started to appreciate every little element, all those small details that he works into the film, just the immense amount of research that he did, studying all of these physics in general is just insane, especially when you get into theoretical physics. And so everything that he did with that film was amazing. So I probably would need to see Dunkirk one more time, and I'll probably love it the second time because the same thing happened with me with that film. But you were going to say something about Dunkirk?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I get what your point is. I mean, with Interstellar, I know a lot of people, and Interstellar is my favorite movie of all time. I know a lot of people that when they saw Interstellar the first time, a lot of it was a little overwhelming, and I get it. Even as someone that did a lot of research about the movie prior to it coming out, I wasn't spoiled or anything, but, knowing Kip Thorne worked on it, knowing all of the physics that went into this and all of the studying and the black holes and the time travel and the, astrophysiology that they were studying. Yeah. I had a good idea of a lot of the places they were going to go and things they were going to do without spoiling myself. And so even then I was still kind of overwhelmed the first time I watched it, especially with that third act. It's like, Jesus Christ, what?
I know. Cause he ejects from the ship and you're like, what is going on? Like he's in space, or is he in the black hole? Like what's
and you know, and I there's a lot of emotional attachment to that movie for me,
Yeah.
you know, being a father to a daughter and all that stuff, and so
Oh yeah.
and so I love the movie. So yes, with Dunkirk, it really kind of depends on how did you go into it. Did you go into it expecting Saving Private Ryan?
I mean,
Or
I
did
went into it expecting a good war film. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting, I guess Saving Private Ryan would be a good example of that, is just a lot of action, a lot of really, strongly built characters. And I knew beforehand, because I do research sometimes before films, especially when it comes to Nolan, because you kind of have to be ready for what he's going to do with certain projects. And so when I went into that film, I knew about the 3 timelines already, but the way they weave together, it just didn't work the first time I saw it for me.
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean, so Dunkirk is and Nolan said this prior to the release, but it's not a war film. It's a survival film.
Yeah,
and it's not built around characters. It's built around the survival situation, and you're not going to have a lot of dialogue. You're not going to have a lot of, man, when I get home, I can't wait to have a double cheeseburger and sleep with my girlfriend and all that, like all those cliche stories that are in every war film.
True.
The guys sitting around talking about what they can't wait to get pizza and sit around watch football. That was not going to be in Dunkirk. It was never going to be about those moments. It was about just surviving in a terrible circumstance, and there was going to be little dialogue. And so and it may not work for everybody, and I'm not expecting it to work for everybody, but at least, I hope people, when they watch it or watch it again, understand the perspective that was trying to be told. And that's what I appreciated about Nolan. I appreciate him because he doesn't do the norm. He doesn't do what every fucking director does. He doesn't do all. There's times, like Dark Knight Rises, I could have done without the cliche kiss with Batman and Catwoman in the end, because I'm like, Nolan, that is so not you to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Out of his films, I would say that's probably my least favorite, because but at the end of the day too, I still give him credit, because this is a man who probably had a plan going forward. Heath Ledger dies, and now where do you go from here? And so for me, every time I watch that film, I have that in the back of my mind saying, this is actually pretty good for what happened to him as a writer, because I would love to have seen what he originally had planned if the Joker was still alive, if Heath Ledger's character was still, if Heath Ledger was still alive to do that character, because I think it would have been very different, or at least that's how I perceive it to be. So yeah, I think that there's a lot to look into when it comes to Christopher Nolan films, for sure.
Definitely. Okay, so favorite director.
So favorite director at this point, Denis Villeneuve.
Okay.
I mean, Blade Runner 2049 was my favorite film of last year. It was gorgeous, and to me, he's also the director I go to, because I've been asked this question before too. What director would I like to see get a hand on a Star Wars film? And it's Denis Villeneuve, because with Blade Runner 2049, what he showed was that he was able to take a cult classic film and not only do it justice, but make it even better. Bring the universe in, expand the universe in such a way. And I just love it. I love it. And every film, the reason why I love him is because he has not made a bad film yet. With most other directors, you can say, okay, this was not a very good film. Maybe not a bad film, but this one wasn't very strong. Every film that he's made, Prisoners, Enemy, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, every film that he has touched has done well. He's going to be making Dune, which is a film I feel like a lot of people are kind of skeptical about being made into a film. But I trust him completely with this project, because he's a visionary filmmaker. And him also, with the reason why I love Blade Runner 2049 in particular is because him and Roger Deakins work flawlessly together. I mean, Roger Deakins is just an incredible cinematographer. And have you seen Blade Runner 2049?
I haven't. A lot of people keep telling me to watch it. So
watch it. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
We were doing a lot of movie reviews on the channel when that came out, and we were watching a lot of movies in theaters. And I that was a week I couldn't make it, and just kind of passed me by. And everybody keeps telling me to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it. So
yeah.
And I always call him Denis Villeneuve. I don't know if that's the proper way to announce it.
I think it is Villeneuve. I always say Villeneuve, but I think Villeneuve is actually the correct way to pronounce it. But you know us. I mean, we struggle with pronouncing things sometimes.
That's right. So
maybe I think it's a Southern thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So let me get caught up here. Trying to see. Bill Stevens, Jeremy, would you play Mario Kart with Christopher Nolan while he's wearing a Cobra Commander helmet? So, all right, so would you play Mario Kart with a C, with Christopher Nolan with a K, while he's wearing a Cobra Commander helmet with 2 Ks? Jeez, man, you guys taking this too far. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of all the Denis Villeneuve. Let's see. So
Villeneuve.
He did Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Which I liked. I didn't love, but I liked Arrival. Thought it was good.
It's definitely one of those, to me, it's kind of, in a Christopher Nolan way, it's one that you have to sit with. It's one that you might have to see multiple times, because there is, especially with when the ending comes in, there's a lot to process. So I can understand why there's some people that don't like it for sure.
Right. And so, and then what was it? Prisoners?
Prisoners. Oh my God.
Loved Prisoners.
Oh,
loved Prisoners. That was a really tough movie to watch. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Oh, and how can I forget? He did the first Sicario film, which is still one of my favorite.
And I haven't seen that one. And I haven't seen it.
Oh, you have to. And I say this before, to make a film about drug cartels and the Mexican border without the politics. It's like, I'm sorry, but that's just kudos to you already for being able to do that. But it's so bad. And also, if you want to see Benicio del Toro not as a stupid bumbling DJ, watch that, because he is a total badass in those films.
All right, let's see. Phaser Face says Cobra Commander's return in the comics after G.I. Joe the movie. You know, everyone who betrayed him, he locked them into a tanker and threw them into a volcano to die. Excuse me. I thought that was fantastic. What issue was that? I have quite a few G.I. Joe comics. I would like it. So are we talking about like Destro and Baroness and all of them? I would love to read that episode, that issue. So if you can tell me what, I can look it up here shortly, but that sounds great. I would love to see him do that to Destro and the twins and all of that. That would be amazing. Martel, so if we are in the area, can one meet the Geeks and Gamers crew? Would be fun to hang out, but I'm probably way too awkward. I'm awkward too, so it's all good. I think all of us are awkward.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I would love to create some type of meetup for the Geeks and Gamers community. Let's see. Dan Marshall says, "Night folks love this community." Dan, thank you for joining us. And look, I'm reading all of your comments. I'm laughing at half the shit you say. I'm trying to keep up with everything. We got super chats. We got comments here. We've got Odin talking. Odin is breaking my heart, talking about he doesn't like Dunkirk and the prequel. Fuck, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. But I would love to do a meetup like that. I don't know how to go about setting that up, but you know, we have such a large team at geeksandgamers.com, and we'll see what happens. You know, obviously we're going to be in Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, and someone just said it. Hector Javier says yes to meet up. Let's do it in Orlando. Orlando is the place I would most like to do it. Orlando is my favorite place, my favorite city. I would love to go to Disney and Universal and hang out with a lot of the Geeks and Gamers crew. That would be amazing. So you guys just keep throwing ideas out there. The more support you give us, the better it is for us. I know I need to get more involved with our Patreon side of things. And what I'm hoping we can get Patreon to the point where I can go ad-free on the website and on geeksandgamers.com. But right now, again, we are doing all types of things, committing a lot of money to a lot of projects every month to continue to build this brand and build this website. And it's not cheap, but there's a lot of opportunities that is being presented to us in the future. I've been invited, or I've been offered a few sponsorship opportunities. Not really wanting to get involved with the sponsorship type of things, but if Nintendo comes knocking, or Dr. Pepper, you know, I'll sponsor them, you know, because that's going to be me truly, you know, believing in the product. Jeremy rep Mario Kart. So, but yeah, I would love to. Where are we at? Let's see. I'm looking. Purge says, De Palma for Star Wars, such nuance. See Blade Runner 2047. 2049. Who's De Palma?
Brian De Palma?
I don't know who De Palma is. Do an IMDb on that.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan 27883. WB announced Dark Knight coming to IMAX theaters August 24th for the 10th year anniversary. Make sure you find a real IMAX theater. No fake conversions. What? I will go see this in a heartbeat. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Holy shit. I'll have to check that out. I can't wait. And I don't have a real IMAX theater here in Pensacola. I think
that's sad.
Is there a 70 millimeter IMAX theater in New Orleans that will air? I mean, I know there is, like, there's a 70 millimeter screen here, but they always use like for nature and shit, you know.
Oh yeah. So it's the Energy IMAX at the aquarium. So we do have one of those, and yeah, you're right. They show just all the nature and whales. whales,
Yeah.
a fish story, you know. And but yeah, so they used to show a lot more actual films in there too. Like that's where I want to say I saw The Dark Knight in there actually in the 70 millimeter IMAX, because it was one of the first films that really used a lot of scenes in IMAX footage, and it was amazing. So I really wish they showed more films like that again. But we have, of course, the AMCs that have the IMAX, where it's big screen, big sound, but it's nowhere close to being as big as the Energy IMAX screen.
Yeah, and they're talking about Brian De Palma.
Brian De Palma.
Yeah, wrote the
Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible,
and apparently wrote the crawl for A New Hope. Let's see. 7 dislikes are from the SJWs. Probably not. It's probably our community just trolling me. So when I say lick the smash button or smash the like button, they just hit the dislikes to fuck with me. Because that's the type of community we have here. And it's okay. It's okay. Trying to find Dylan Krubel. Gonna change my name to Dylan Krubel with a C. So he's gonna change it from.
I saw that one, yeah.
From a K to Dylan Krubel from a C. Ron Navy says, "Bring them all to Pensacon." Hey, I'm down with that. I would love to do that. Pensacon is getting too big for the convention center. It was packed last year. Like it was almost not fun last year. There were so many people there. So Redbeard, why is Hux still alive? He'd be choked by Vader for being a cringy Disney villain. Gingers need more than this. I'm ashamed. That is true. Hux does. He's terrible. He really is not good. He's really not good.
And it's a good actor, too. That's what bothers me, is that I love the actor who plays Hux. But you're right. The character is just so annoying.
The stream does not crash at 1,000 likes anymore. We can hit the 1,000 likes. It was only from my smartphone. So you can hit the like. You can get us over 1,000 likes. And you know, it's appreciated if you do. And if not, then that's fine. Just tell me in the comments. Just say, Jeremy, I'm not going to like your video. Go fuck yourself. And that's fine. Like that's what we do here. It's all good. We're all friends. This is how we talk to each other. It's how I talk to my best friends. It's all good. There's no sensitivity here. Okay. We can talk some shit. It's all good. All right. Jeremy Go, I think that's how I say it. For Odin and Jeremy, loves from Escape from New York, and would love you guys to do a commentary track on the film, like a watch along that Collider did, something for geeks and gamers to think about. So he loves Escape from New York, and he would love for us to do a commentary track. What do you think about that?
I've never seen it, so I would.
Really? Okay. Yeah, it's a long time ago I saw it. It's been a long time. So, Jeremy, we can definitely do that, man. Love those types of ideas. Keep them coming. So, let's see. Colin Miller. Kathleen Kennedy was the chosen one. She brought balance to the fandom with a snap of her fingers. Split it in half. Perfect balance as nature intended. Just kidding, obviously. Jason Wells says, committed thousands of monies. That's another shot at me. At some point during a live stream, I said thousands of monies, and they have not let it go.
They will never forget anything. They will never forget anything.
I'm really disappointed that more people didn't tell me to go fuck myself when I told them to. Like they just were like, nah, man, we don't want to tell you that. Unacceptable.
I would say just wait, and now it's gonna be just not stop.
Bill Stevens, Odin, what do you want to do with your channel for the future?
Oh man, that's a great question. I guess I'd love to keep doing what I'm doing. I would obviously love to grow and expand. I actually started off as a podcast before I jumped onto YouTube. So I would love to do that again because I love podcasting. I do podcasting with actually a group of my friends still, and we have a lot of fun. So I would love to bring that element to it as well. So I know that I've fallen behind because I just have had no time with work and everything to see movies, as many movies as I want to see. So I definitely want to bring more reviews, more trailer reactions, things like that. So keep doing what I'm doing, but obviously expand it too, make things grow, and also take suggestions. Like for me, that's the biggest thing, is that I will listen to any suggestion that anyone has, because if there's something that someone wants to see, I would be totally willing to look into it and do it. So
right on, man. John says, Jeremy, I work in a call center all day long. People tell me that all day. So no, I will not tell someone to go F themselves. I feel for you if you work in a call center, man. That's between that and retail, whew, it's a tough life. It's a tough life. So.
I worked at AMC theaters. Actually, I worked for AMC for 3 years. I actually became a supervisor there, and I can tell you, people are just the worst. And
yep,
it's just insane. And my favorite complaint from a customer though was probably they went to go see Under the Skin, which was a movie with Scarlett Johansson, which I hated, and they got 20 minutes into the film and came out and said, "I want my money back."
Wow.
And I was like, Actually, no, it was like an hour into the film. And I was like, well, unfortunately, because you've seen, it's an hour and a half film. Unfortunately, since you've seen most of the movie, I can't give you your money back. But no, it was garbage. I hated it. Give me my money back. It's like, no, that's not how it works. But I understand because I hated it too, but I can't give you my money back.
Oh, that's good stuff. Let's see. Bradley Fortner. Nope. Jeremy's our boy. Nothing but respect. Thank you, Bradley. Really appreciate that. Lando Calrissian says,
Yes.
Jeremy, I'm not going to like your videos because you don't show any skin. I'm trying to maintain viewers, not lose them. Okay. Redbeard. Next Terminator. Linda Hamilton is how to do a female character. Yeah, yes. Definitely.
That's the only reason why I'm excited for it is because James Cameron's involved and because Linda Hamilton's coming back. That's the only reason.
100%. And Terminator 2 is still one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that. So
that's why it broke my heart when they got rid of the Terminator ride at was it Universal?
Mm-hmm.
And I just was so sad. Even though it was this 3D show and it was very campy, I loved it because I love Terminator 2 that much.
Yes, so good. And are you a big theme park person?
I am. So actually, I just came back. Last week, I went to Six Flags outside of Chicago in Gurnee, Illinois. Six Flags Great America. I'm a huge theme park person. I go to almost every year. Last year was the first year in like 10 years that I had not gone to a theme park. And so it was so much fun. I love them so much.
Right on, right on.
I know you love Disney, so.
Yes. And Universal. I'm looking forward to this Nintendo land that they're developing.
That's right.
Let's have a Mario Kart ride. Mario Kart with a K for all of you. In the comments, before you say it, it will be Mario Kart with a K. You can sign all the petitions you want. You can complain. You can hashtag. Universal knows what's up with Mario Kart. They're not going to listen to all of your demands and all of your threats. So Doc S says Terminator over Terminator 2. I can't agree with you, but I respect where you're coming from. And Terminator is great. What you were going to say something?
They're two totally different types of films. I really think that it's hard to compare the two because one is a pure action film and the other is it's almost like I don't want to say a horror film, but it's definitely not more action oriented. But no, I was going to read, there was a comment from D's Nuts, which I just love that name.
He's always trolling me.
T2 is overrated.
Oh, he also said The Dark Knight was overrated earlier. I can't. Look, man, there's all for like respect opinions and shit. But when you say The Dark Knight or T2 is overrated, there's no respect anymore. You don't deserve respect if you have that opinion. I'm just sorry. That's just how it is.
If you can't watch the opening scene to The Dark Knight and not think this is how you make movies, then you should just get out now.
Yes, definitely. All right, Voorhees67. Disney parks over Universal, over Cedar Point. Everything else is garbage. I've never been to Cedar Point. I'm not a big fan of Six Flags. So, and I definitely agree with you. Disney is the top dog for me. And then Universal is right there. And then, like I said, I've never been to Cedar Point, but I like to go. So how does your theme park structure work out?
You need to go to Cedar Point because it is the best theme park in the country that I've been to, at least at this point.
Over Walt Disney World?
Over Walt Disney World for several reasons. One, you don't have to pay over $100 a day just to get into the park. And two, it's all coasters. So if you like coasters, it really depends on what you like. I'm a coasters guy, and so it has the most roller coasters. I think Cedar Point officially has the most roller coasters out of any theme park in the United States. I could be wrong on that, but I know it has a lot. And so it has some of the best. Millennium Force is my all-time favorite roller coaster, and it's in that park. That was the coaster I'd always watch. Do you remember when they used to have those? It was maybe just, it wasn't Discovery Channel, but they would have all of those videos of the top 10 roller coasters of all time, and they would have like all
Discovery. I think Discovery Channel used to put those.
It may have been Discovery,
yeah, I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
But so I'd watch those because I love coasters that much, and Millennium Force was always at the top. And so when I finally got to go to Cedar Point, I was able to live a childhood dream. And so Cedar Point. Now, if you want theme, like as a theme park, if you want themes, if you want stories, if you want things like that, then yes, Disney's going to be where you're going to want to go. But if you want coasters, I'm sorry, but Disney does not have great coasters in comparison to a lot of other theme parks. I'm just going to say that right now.
No, they definitely don't. I'm just going to tweet us out again.
Absolutely.
Quick. Let everybody know we're still live.
Yeah.
We're still live. Boom. And then I got to retweet it. It's so much work, man. It's so much work. It's such hard work. I'm obviously being sarcastic right now.
It's like in Happy Gilmore. My fingers hurt.
No, that was Billy Madison. That was Billy Madison.
And that was Happy Gilmore because it was his grandma.
That's right. It was. That's right.
Yeah.
It was. My bad. Yeah, because the grandma.
It was Ben Stiller.
Ben
Stiller with the mask.
and Happy was trying to win her house back. That's right. I keep forgetting.
Well, pretty soon your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Yep. So good. So good. All right. So, sports question: what's Odin's favorite college football team?
Oh,
had to work that one in.
Yeah. So I don't like college sports. I've never gotten into them. I went to Fordham University, and it's the home of Vince Lombardi and everything, but it doesn't have a very good sports team. With that kind of pedigree, it doesn't have a good sports team. But I just never really been into college sports. But I will tell you this much: being from New Orleans, there's a lot of things about New Orleans that I don't like, and one of them is the huge love for LSU, especially for people who didn't even go to LSU. So as I always like to say, roll Tide.
There we go. All right. So, we'll talk sports. I was supposed to do a Sports Wars live stream on Sports Wars channel, but the Clone Wars news kind of interrupted that. So definitely soon. But you guys know I try to stay away from sports over here. And then somebody said something I wanted to repeat. I can't find it now. Damn it. He was correcting us on, it wasn't the grandma though. It was another woman at the home. So it was, there was a woman that was sitting there and she was like, my fingers hurt.
Yeah. No.
Honey. And then Happy walked in. So, and this was like,
oh no, yeah. I was, Cause I think it was because we were explaining the plot with that quote. And so it may have been construed, but it wasn't his grandma. Instead, she was like, can I have a glass of warm milk? You could have a glass of shut the hell up.
Oh, I love it so much, man. Old school Adam Sandler are the best.
It's so great. What happened to him is the real question.
Yeah, man. I mean, I still like his movies, but I think he's gotten like, what I like about Adam Sandler is the guy like he does his own thing. He involves his friends. He's a good dude at heart. I know some of it is cringe as hell. I know that. But yeah, man, he's just doing his own thing. I mean, he's a really good actor when he wants to be a serious actor too. He's a really strong actor when he wants to be.
Click. I'm going to throw that movie out there.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a movie that floored me because they promoted it as a comedy. And then at the very end, they throw this dramatic element, and I was tearing up because I was like, I wasn't ready for this. I did not prepare myself for this kind of emotion. And I mean, that and Spanglish are probably some of his best dramatic works, I would say.
That's true. Bill Stevens, Jeremy, where do you see your channel going if I don't support you? Smirks. Just kidding. Love the entire GG staff. Truthfully, Bill Stevens, if you stop supporting us, it's probably all going to go downhill. Like it's all over. So, I mean, Geeks and Gamers, the future of Geeks and Gamers, it relies specifically on you. With great power comes great responsibility. So,
Fire KTN just said, hey, Jeremy and Odin, would you prefer I grabbed your left or right butt cheek?
Every time this person makes this comment, I always say, I don't know if to be creeped out or to be flattered by these comments. It just depends on who's making them. You know what I mean? But hey, it's all good, man. Let's see. There's D's nuts back. So D's nuts, your opinions are bad and you should not have opinions. Sound like an SJW now.
Yeah. You have opinions and I don't like your opinions. I'm going to protest you. I'm going to block you on Twitter because that's what I do.
I saw Brian Young was saying like,
oh my God, Brian.
He was talking about how the people he blocks on Twitter and why I've never had an interaction with this guy and he blocked me on Twitter. Never had an interaction with him.
I gave him two or three comments and they were all just honest questions and he blocked me. And so I made a video about it, and I have people who still follow him and are still engaging with him who are sending me all these screenshots. It's like, you might block me, but you forget that we can still get access to your Twitter even when you block us. So
yeah, definitely. So Ron Navy, between both your teams all own all the gates. Saints own Bounty Gate. New England owns the rest of the gates. Been to Cedar Point, and it's awesome. I would love to, and again, there's so many things that we're trying to develop, here on the channel. And one thing I'm very passionate about is theme parks. I love them. And I would love to work on a weekly theme park show, or at least a monthly at this point. I don't want to overstep too much and see how it goes. I mean, we're working on the wrestling show. We've got the Common Sense crew that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis. That's going to be coming back soon. Obviously, I have the High Council obligations that's going on. So we have a lot of moving parts, but there's just so many things I want to talk about. And I know a lot of people won't love everything that we discuss. I know Geeks and Gamers has not done a great job of keeping up with the gaming aspect of things, but that's coming in time. It's coming. But it's important to build this platform so we can, have an audience. And now we have an audience, and we're definitely going to work on continuing to evolve the channel and open discussions up for a lot of different content. But Star Wars ain't going nowhere, baby. It ain't going nowhere. So, all right, let's see what we got here.
Brad Noble said something that was really funny. He says, roll Tide in a rug and throw it off a bridge.
Brad Noble's been trolling us all this time.
As I like to say, he's on all my streams, and we call him our pet troll because that's what he does. He just...
Cold Dine says, Jeremy, can you sing Mike Zero's outro them tune for me? Somebody want to give me Mike Zero's outro real quick? I read it yesterday. Mike Zero has this same exact outro on every one of his videos. You ever watch Mike Zero?
I've seen like a couple of his videos, but as a lot of people in my streams always say, he's very clickbaity in his titles, and I agree with that.
I like Mike Zero a lot. Yeah. And he is like, he means no harm. Like, he just does his thing. He doesn't attack anybody. He doesn't get into a lot of the back and forth. And I get it, though. He does do a lot of clickbaity stuff, and that's fine. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do on YouTube, and so it's just part of it. We are part of the YouTube algorithm, and so like tomorrow, if I title my video, and I might, if I title my video, Kathleen Kennedy better stay away from the Clone Wars, it'll get 100,000 views probably. All because of the algorithm. That's just how it works. And so when they make, like right now, we have all these subscribers that subscribe to our channels, but they don't get any notifications, even if they subscribe to the notifications. You know what I mean? And
or they get one an hour later. I've had several where an hour into the stream, hey, I just got my notification.
Right, exactly. And so let's see. Voorhees67, Mike Zero gives fucks. Let's see. David Field says, roll Crimson Tide. That's right. I went there, and he put Crimson with a K. SD Ravana says, what are your opinions about movies based on video games? What do you guys believe needs to be done to make them truly impressive video game movies? That's a great question. That's been a big problem with the movie industry and the gaming industry, is they have failed to capitalize off of these video games. Now, if you go back to, I never played World of Warcraft. I actually like the Warcraft movie was specifically designed for people that knew the lore. And I still enjoyed it. But how did I butcher your super chat, Voorhees? I said it right there. Am I supposed to say the edited version that you say? And you all capped me. Don't all cap me, Voorhees. I know you went on this cruise a few weeks ago, so now you're feeling all cool. Don't all cap me. All cap is disrespectful. No, but but the Warcraft movie, I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I enjoyed it. I didn't see the Assassin's Creed movie. I thought obviously the Mortal Kombat movie back in the day was great. And I'm one of the few I'm one of the few that liked Annihilation. And so
for comedic reasons, yes. So that's where I'm always like, the original Mortal Kombat to me is probably my favorite video game adaptation film for sure, because I mean, come on, it's the guy that plays Shang Tsung is just perfect in every single way.
I did mix the words up.
You did?
Oh, yeah. No, Mike gives 0 fucks because I didn't use the play on word that he used. So he used Mike gives 0.
Okay.
Like 0. Voorhees is always doing this to me. Voorhees is always doing this to me. It's like he just enjoys seeing me struggle here. It's like it's intentional. It's a conspiracy against a white male, a straight white male, and you're trying to take me down.
Yep.
I know what you're doing, Voorhees. I know.
It's hard. It's hard for us in today's society. It really is.
William Robertson, Mike Zero is really Doomcock. Roll Tide. If Mike Zero turned out to be Doomcock, that would be like the greatest thing since Vince McMahon, pulled that mask off and he's like, "It was me, Austin.
Yes,
it was me the whole time." That would be the best thing ever.
Almost as good for me. The one that's just is so funny is because I honestly did not see it coming. Was when Eric Bischoff was doing the wedding and tore off the mask. It's like, wait a minute, did I just say 3 minutes? When 3-minute warning was a thing.
Oh God, it's so good. Colin Miller, you tell him, Jeremy, no need to all cap, and he says that in all cap. And Voorhees said, you did this to yourself in all caps. Redbeard, seen the Guild Wars 2 bio employees dissing fans again? I did not, but I will check that out, and I would love to make a video on it. I would love to jump on that immediately. Darth Caesar, Odin, I'll let you tell me just a minute. Darth Caesar, Odin went to McNeese State in Lake Charles, and students there always wore LSU gear. Being from Texas, I didn't get it. I still don't get it 20 years later. And Bill Stevens. So Jeremy, I can give you my 2-week notice to my job and join your team. Smirks. Hey, I mean, the future lives and breathes with you, so we can talk about it. Lancer 737. Lucasfilm will drop the ball on Clone Wars. Clone Wars and Clone Wars Rebels was never good. It only benefits 40,000 fans versus 40,000 versus Star Wars debates and damages techs and Tic Tac's lore for Star Wars. I butchered that one, and I don't care. The point he's trying to make is that he says Rebels was never good. I get where you're coming from with Rebels. I liked Rebels. I liked it enough. There was a lot of filler. You could tell Filoni had his hands tied being on Disney XD. But overall, I liked it. Anyway, what were you laughing about?
Yeah, sorry. So Tim Christ was the username, says, Jeremy, just do what Trump does. Stop being a straight white male and go Cheeto.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. If you applied for G&G on Facebook, you've got to go to geeksandgamers.com and hit that apply here button, but that's typically only for writers. I need to expand it for other positions, but we really don't have any other positions available right now. But if you're interested in writing, go to geeksandgamers.com and apply there. But I think our writing staff is full. I'll have to talk with Alex and Nikki. Alex is our editor-in-chief, and Nikki is our associate editor. So, all right, Jeremy, this is all your fault. I merely pointed out your failed attempt at reading. That's what Voorhees 67 said.
And right above that, Christopher Mills, you're fired.
You're fired. That was pretty good, Vince. You're fired. So good. These nuts says I write on bathroom walls. That might be the best comment you've made right there. That might be the best comment you've made.
Especially with a name like These Nuts.
These Nuts has finally been productive in the live chat. I'm really excited right now. Lando Calrissian, I get 0 notifications with an H. Oh goodness, that's good stuff right there. That's
also for Lando, I have because I want to make him happy because I love Lando. I don't know if you can see this, but this is it's a Blu-ray drive. I don't know if it's going to quite be good enough for you. I know that you're into electronics, but yeah, I can't open it because it needs to be plugged in. But anyway, this is for you, Lando. Have fun.
Right on. Lando, settle down now. Settle down. Okay, he's got to keep it clean here in the chat, Lando. Okay, so
keep your fetishes, to yourself.
Jeremy, that sounded like Jeremy. That sounded more like the Wicked Witch of the West. Voorhees, you're fired. I don't need notifications. I live on YouTube. That's the type of people we're trying to market to right here. You live on YouTube. I like it. What time is it?
7:46.
7:46. Let's go 15 more minutes.
Cool.
And because I have to, I got to get ready to record this Clone Wars show that we're going to do tonight with our webmaster, Nick. And I'll be honest with you, man, I've had a blast tonight.
Yeah, me too.
We'll have to do this more often. This was great.
Absolutely.
So 15 more minutes. Micah Mathis, either I lagged or you missed my super chat. Mario Quart with a Q. I didn't miss it. I just ignored it, and I'm done. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I did read yours, Micah Mathis. I think you've had 2 super chats that I've read this time at this point. So, all right, here's Mike Zero's thing. I'm not singing it, but I will read it. And it says, goddamn, it's so funny. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. I thank you all are so very much for the kind support, and it's greatly appreciated. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Anybody who watches Zero knows how good that is. So,
and And because I've seen this a few times, Jake M, who's one of the guys that watches my channel, says, "What's your favorite game, guys?"
Mario Kart, obviously, but I always exclude Mario Kart from the discussion. And then Half-Life 2 is my favorite game.
For me, it's a tie because I don't have a lot of the new systems. The newest system I have is a PS3, and I play no games on it. It's just a Blu-ray player for me. So I'm an N64 guy to I still play N64 games. So my all-time favorite game is a tie between GoldenEye 007 and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Those are two games I can go back to every time and still love them. Especially with 007 doing cheats is just so much fun.
Good stuff right there.
Yeah.
And for the record, I am a fan of Mike Zero. So if anybody takes the tongue-in-cheek stuff that I'm doing, I like it.
I don't hate him because, again, I don't know him. So obviously I can't say I dislike him personally because I don't know him. All I can say is that I watch so much content already that nothing about it quite interests me to be able to add more content into it. That's the main thing for me.
God damn, cold dies. Mike Zero is not a male or a female. He is a Disney shield animatronic.
Voorhees says Oreo quart.
Woo! That's good stuff right there. He said, Tim Christ says, "How do you have a PS3 and no games?" Well, the PS3, and I don't know what his answer is going to be, but I can say the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market at the time. It was the system, and so that's why a lot of people bought the PS3 because it was such a big. It was the cheapest Blu-ray player, and that's why it was such a big seller. So, is that the reason?
Not because actually I got it for free because my little brother, who's a big gamer, has the Xbox One, the PS4. Every new system he has it. Because he has all these systems, he says you can have it. Don't delete anything though because I still have my games on there. And this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And so for me, I'm like, so when are you gonna play these games? But so it's essentially mine now. But yeah, that's the reason why I have it.
Gotcha. Dave Bob says Zero puts out 5,625 videos a day. Oh man. Hope now again, it's all fun. It's all fun and games. I like Mike. Yeah. I like his stuff. I watch his stuff all the time. So Bill Stevens, Jeremy and Odin loved this live show. Odin, stay true to your passion. Jeremy, my writer's resume will be sent. LOL. Looking forward to it, man. So we got 10 minutes to go, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We definitely appreciate that. It will help the video get a little more traction. Let's get, if we can get over 400 likes for Odin, that would be awesome. We've consistently held between 500 and 600 viewers, so we've dropped off a little bit. I'm sure some other channels have went live, and so yeah, it's been I've had a lot of fun. This has been awesome. So this has been a lot of fun,
and we need to definitely talk more about wrestling because there's so much to be said.
Now are you an old school wrestling fan, or do you still watch the newer stuff?
Yeah. So I'm both. I think the Attitude Era is the best time in wrestling history. Monday Night Wars, all that stuff. But I do still watch, unfortunately, because I can't quite kick the habit. But I will say this, and I've mentioned this to you before. NXT is where it's at. You need to check out NXT because it reminds me of old WCW in a lot of ways, where it's just really great characters. It's all wrestling too, and it's fantastic.
Definitely, man. Well, I can't talk any of the new age wrestling, but I could definitely talk some. I can too. I can definitely talk.
And the fact that you're a CM Punk guy already has it at we could talk a lot about CM Punk.
That's my guy, man. Yeah. I love Punk. I loved everything about him in WWE. He has the attitude. I like that type of attitude he has, where he doesn't put up any bullshit. I like that he takes risks. I like that he went into the UFC and got his ass beat, and he wasn't intimidated. So it was awesome.
And mark my words, he's coming back to wrestling. He's not coming back to the WWE, but he is coming back to wrestling.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying. All In Chicago, he's showing up and he's saying, "I'm going to be in for All In too." That's my prediction.
Okay, we shall see. See. Let's see what's people talking about. No more super chats. We're caught up on that.
Yeah, let's see.
CM Punk got killed in UFC. Yes, he did. That Star Wars girl says wrestling is puke talk Star Wars.
Come on. Anna still needs to watch Firefly. I don't think she's caught up with Firefly yet. She needs to watch that show now.
Well, she also needs to watch Toy Story 3 again because she says Toy Story 3 is not good.
Yeah.
Unacceptable, Anna. Unacceptable on every level, Anna.
Yes.
You can't, it's such a we were having a long discussion about that. So let's see what she has to say now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna link Odin one more time here in the comments. Here's Odin's channel. Paste.
Bill Goldberg.
You guys go ahead and jump on over once because we're wrapping this up in less than 10 minutes. So once we wrap up, go ahead and jump on over to World Class Bullshitters. They just went live. They're talking about the Clone Wars. Tell them we said hello. Tell Jeff I'm looking forward to talking with him tomorrow because it's going to be a lot of fun for the Force Awakens rewatch. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Let's see. Jason Wells, always great. As always, Jeremy, great warm up before Ethan. Well, fuck me, okay? Mark Shambert, shout out to Odin. Loved your chat with John.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
And yeah, this was. So did everybody enjoy this stream? I thought this was a really good stream. So did everybody enjoy this? I thought this was really good. I thought Odin did a great job. So let me know what you think.
Oh, Anna, I'll watch Firefly before Toy Story 3 again.
Oh, disrespect.
Still the hate.
It's unbelievable. All right, so everybody's saying it was a good stream. All right. D's Nuts said it didn't
suck. That's a compliment. That's a compliment from him.
That was good. Great job, everybody saying. All right, awesome. Love seeing that. Great. Well, like I said, there's no need to keep dragging this out for another 5 minutes. We'll let you guys go ahead and join World Class for their Clone Wars discussion. Everybody subscribe to Odin's movie blog. Have you jumped up to any subs since you've been on?
Let me see. So I was at 1534 when we started. I'm up to 1544 now. So it's been a
10.
Yeah. But I do want to give 2 shout outs. So one is Stephanie B. I know she's always in your chat. She is one of my mods on my stream, and I call my mods my Valkyrie because they're just badass warriors. So I want to give a huge shout out to Stephanie. And I don't think Tina's in the chat because she has a book club tonight, but a huge shout out to Tina because Stephanie and Tina are my Valkyrie and they're amazing.
Right on. Ron Navy says, "Who is this Odin you keep talking about?" And
Anna said the third one did them dirty.
And Jason Wells says, wait, did that actually break Jeremy? When? Jason, you've been breaking my heart for weeks now, buddy. It's just one heartbreak after the other. So Arc Trooper Knox says, just subbed. All right. Well, awesome. You guys have a great one. Odin, anything you want to send us out with? You got any shout outs you want to make or anything? I mean, you just shouted out some of your mods and things like that. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me join you on the stream. And I really hope to do it again because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, man, I had a blast. So I look forward to having you back on in the very near future. I think that, cool. And then, like I said, Odin will be coming to the Geeks and Gamers channel, so we're going to see a lot more of him over here. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Other than that, for Anna, for Siobhan, who was in the chat modding, who's our community manager, and for everyone that joined us, you're all amazing. Subscribe to Odin's Movie Blog. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you later. And guys, for Mex, pencil in the beard, guys. That's what you're getting. That's what you're getting, guys. Later, guys.